This is the centralized controller here, and it's a joystick. It's not does not rotate. It's just a joystick, and what it allows you to do is go through your basic scenarios here of entering in your guidance, your audio controls,
where are we
and all that jazz. So anyway, it's got XM radio in here, so been listening to that. That's fine. You got your disc change down here. To be honest with you, I really don't see much of the need to bring CDs in a car anymore, given all the other connectivity options, but it's there if you need it. If I had some gripes here, one of the strange things is the center console flips open like that, which is okay for the driver, but my wife stores a lot of stuff. She's a passenger. She's going to have a dickens of a time being a shorter person peering over this darn thing to get in here. It's mystery land to her, so that's not so cool. Of course, it's got your change and your card, your pen holder, all that business. You have your USB link up in here, pops out. You can go ahead and hook things up with your USB. In here you also have a power port and a light when the lights are on. There's a lot of ability for you to reconfigure this. For example, these things flip down, this removes, there's another one that flips down. So you can really make this your own personal space if that's what you so require. Another power point, of course, here, your seat heaters, as we have mentioned. This is a fairly loaded car. Of course, you've got up here your home link for your garage door. You got your lights right here, and these are also pretty popular anymore. These small ambient lights down here, they'll shine at night, a little blue light to illuminate this center area. And of course, your sunroof control. Behind the mirrors, you have lighted vanity here, which is nice. On some CR-Vs I've seen, they've not been lighted. So that's kind of an upgrade you get here at the Acura. And of course, you got your full complement of steering wheel controls as we've gone through. Another minor little thing here is, if you can see the parking brake, well, it's off to the right here. And what happens is, I'm doing this every time I get in the car. I do that, and I have to remember to actually get over to the right and press in on that thing. Kind of strange. I don't really know why they did that. Also, I'm a big guy for pushing the mirrors all the way out to the right. Basically, what I try to do is bring the cars in, and as they slowly fade out, they come into view here, which pretty much eliminates properly adjusted mirrors like that, pushed all the way out, eliminate blind spots. This mirror doesn't go out as far as a lot of cars I test. I found that it actually kind of sticks. It's okay, but it doesn't go quite out as far. Not a big deal. Overall, I find the materials in the car to be good. As I mentioned, this is soft touch. This is soft touch. When I open the glove box, it's reasonably refined movement. For example, if you look at some product, like the Lincoln MKX is a great example. It's so light, this thing. It's just so flimsy, and it's the one thing that kind of drives me nuts, even on the newly refreshed MKX. This is hard plastic, and normally I would really ding a manufacturer for this, but you know what? They've grained it in such a way it doesn't look so bad. I'm not so crazy about these cut lines for this information display out here. Yeah, you know, a little unattractive in my opinion, but again, it's not a huge deal. You got the woven headliner here. I would have appreciated it actually going down into the A-pillar and having that woven as well, as opposed to this hard plastic, but the graining on it is pretty good. If we look at a few other things here in the car, overall, I would have thought that if, for example, they would have added some piping right here, okay, that it wouldn't just be this mono theme of color and not so monochromatic. I would have appreciated a little bit of like even just a small amount of piping and a contrasting color. I think would have set off the seat quite nicely without really raising the costs to crazy amounts. Overall, what we're looking at this car that we've got in our possession here today, the total with shipping out the door, $38,430. That, of course, does get you the Acura warranty, a little longer than the Honda side of things, 4-year, 50,000 mile on the bumper to bumper. And as I had mentioned, this is the super handling all-wheel drive tech model, so it does have the navigation system, as we discussed. It's pretty much got all the features that are available on the RDX. So it's a competent handler. It does very well for itself, taking it out on the road. I've got no complaints with how it handles. They have made adjustments to the ride. The 2010 model is a smoother riding vehicle. It isn't the smoothest riding car you're ever going to be in. I'm not going to mislead you on that. It is somewhat bumpy, so be sure you take it over all the surfaces how you feel. It's not going to kill you like a run-flat BMW 3 Series does. Those machines, man, they murder me. But it's still, it's a bit jouncy. I mean, if I compare it to that Jag wagon over there, a much smoother ride, but obviously it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit longer, and it's tuned to provide more ride comfort than the handling. But in this vehicle, it's one of the things I did notice. It does obviously corner very well. The super handling all-wheel drive does a great job. And the turbo obviously sets this apart really from, for example, it's a sister vehicle, the CR-V. Obviously, Acura would probably want me to say this, not very much related in terms of actual component coming over. I think it's like a 10% sharing. But let's be honest, I mean, they are related. A lot of the engine underneath work, all the engineering was the same. But one of the things that sets this vehicle apart, of course, is the turbo. And in this particular model, it hooks you up with, I think it's about 240 horsepower, I believe, here. Yeah, 240. So the turbo spools up, and it gets into its own business, I would say, right about 2,000 RPM is where the turbo gets into it. You know, if I had my druthers, I would trade some of the number of the 240 down for a little smaller turbo, perhaps, and see this vehicle actually maybe spool up just a hair sooner. The only reason is because there is a bit of that turbo lag where you kind of, and then you get into it. And, you know, just from my perspective, the more lower end grunt that you get, the better off you are. But it's not annoying. It's not like 2,500, 3,000 RPM where it finally spools in and then you're off like a rocket ship. So that's pretty much the overall view here of the RDX from 10,000 feet. I hope you found this somewhat informative, and I'll be doing more of these video reviews later on in the year. Thank you.